Culture Minefield. This
Good
is how
timing.
it is.
We grew up on television. The tube was our babysitter, guidance through the tube, moral sent by transmitter. This is where you go to get down to the know about great TV shows all on one show. It's time for some TGIF right here on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield.
We can do Night of the Living Disco starring Village of the Damn People. Macho, macho man, I've got to be a macho man.
Village of the Damned People.
Yeah, I've seen that that special, or I've listened to that special.
It's an album. Yeah, it's an album.
Times.
I would have loved to have seen it
times.
because there's so many jokes in there. When you listen to that album, you're like, I don't know what he's doing. Because you hear what he's saying, but you don't know what he's physically doing. He's doing something because it's making everybody laugh.
Have you not seen the taped version? There is a taped version.
No, I've never seen it. I've only because I own the album.
The original show was taped in San Francisco. The album show, we'll call it that. The taped show was filmed, I think it was Los Angeles, I think. And it was all prim and proper, not really prim and proper, but sort of like it had tables like they have in the Golden Globes, where it's a round table with lots of people.
Right.
So when he did his shtick, he went down to the audience and riffed on people. And it was hilarious, but it was the same album. So what he went down and did hit a little bit of a shtick down with the people. He took some woman's like a fur coat, but it's not really fur, and he messed around with it a little bit. It was hilarious. And then when he went back on stage, he kept doing the show. The only major, like, except for that difference, but the only major other difference that has to do with that album is that he asked suggestions. You know, there's a moment where he asked suggestions from the crowd, and somebody says, like, everybody says Mork, and he's like, no, this is
no.
I'm here to do something else. So in the taped version, nobody yells Mork anymore.
They took it out.
Which I found no. They yell something else, but he doesn't go into the "I don't do Mork anymore" kind of spiel. But yeah,
his whole thing is
show.
This is what I do to bring my world back to normal from that show. So no, I love the way he says it. No, nanu.
Yeah, exactly.
No nanu. But yeah, that was.
I think
God,
he said,
what a great album.
I think if I remember correctly, he says, "I'm done with that mess of Bob." Yeah, it's
he says mess of Bob.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great album, man. I truly do. I love comedy so much. When it's done well, it's just
great. Monkey Judas says I probably could have bullied him into doing Mork. Just simply, all you got to do is just keep saying over and over again. Yeah, but you're funny when you do Mork.
Yeah.
But it's good to see Tom Baker is here. And It's a lot of people's not least but close to it. Carpenter film. It's not my least favorite. I got to tell you, it's like I really don't like vampires. The first going into the second act was really good. It's when he starts going second act to third act, falls apart. And I was so disappointed with that film. But
Which one?
Vampires.
Oh,
the movie he did back in the 90s. Ghosts of Mars is absolutely a piece of shit movie. It even cost me a friendship with somebody because they said, man, you got to go back and draw that. And I'm like, look, man, I don't like that movie. And he goes, no, seriously, I didn't like it either, but I went back and gave it another chance after some time. And I had a whole different reaction to it. I went, are you willing to end our friendship over this? Is it that important to you? And he's, yeah, you're going to love it. I went and watched it and I fucking hated it. And I blocked him on Facebook.
Jesus.
I wrote him a message. I went, I'm never taking another recommendation from you, you fucking idiot. Robin Williams was a customer at my comic book store in the late 80s, early 90s. Never talked to him about his work. He was there to buy comics and stuff. My partner, Gary Willoughby, that took over Blade Zone for me, he worked at an art storage facility that's used by Kirsties and other auction houses, and they store a lot of stuff. Robin Williams is a regular in there. The one that's funny, though, you'll like this one. He walked in one day from lunch, and there was this guy on the floor in front of the main counter, just kind of nodding off. And he's got long hair and beard. And he walks in, and he just kind of looks at the guy like, oh, my God, some homeless guy has come in and has crashed out. And he looks at him and goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. You can't sleep in here. You need to go outside. And the guy stands up, and it's fucking Henry Winkler.
Hey!
And he felt like a complete asshole. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were some homeless guy that was crashing in our office. And he goes, I know. I kind of look that way and dress that way. And yeah, hippies. Fucking hippies.
Hippies. Henry Winkler, man.
I tell you. Yeah, and Tom, I'm just not a fan of that film. I'm just not. I would rather watch it though than Ghosts of Mars. What a just terrible, terrible movie.
I've seen a new movie today.
What?
I
did too. By the way.
My wife works for a very big company. Okay. And we were supposed to do some sort of a theme park day for everybody where they open up the theme park for free because like prepay and food and all that stuff. But because of the war shit, that just didn't happen. So what they did is they just bought in a full Cinemaplex and just said, well, all the new movies, you can pick whatever you want. And you and your family will get to see a new movie. So me and my boy went to see Sonic 3, which is, it wasn't for me, but I can tell the people, the kids who went to the movie really enjoyed it, and my boy really enjoyed it. My wife and my daughter watched Wicked. And even my daughter, who watched the play or the Broadway musical over YouTube or whatever she watched it on, she said that it's okay. My wife hated it. My wife truly hated it. And
I really like the musical, but from what I hear about the movie, I have zero interest in watching it ever.
Bush McFadden is here. Play his video.
11 months. Awesome.
On it.
We're waiting for the stinger.
Wait.
Bush. I poop in a bag? What?
Poop in a bag?
Okay.
Well, he's been sick with a GI. He was in the hospital for almost half the month.
Who?
With Booth was. And he was sick. I'm not going to say what was going on, but it had to do with his GI tract, and
Good.
he had a rough go of it.
Dude, I completely understand. My mother is going through something pretty nasty, and she has to wear a bag that bypasses stuff.
That sucks.
Yeah, there you go. 14th to 26th. Because Martin was the one who told me that he had talked to Bush, and then I immediately went over and messaged Bush. Like, what is going on, dude? You know? And we worry about him. I wondered what was going on because I hadn't even seen food porn. Because he's always posting food porn in our groups, which I love. It's like, I gets my fucking mouth watering sometimes, the shit that he makes. But I don't know what's going on with Monkey Jeebus here. Why was she wanting to touch you? Where the fuck were you? What were you doing? Or do we want to know? Man, fucking Monkey Jeebus.
Well, with him, you never know what he's imagining.
I know, you never know. It's like, well, I'm working part-time as a stripper right next to the pizza place. So the first hour I do stripping. Then when I get my break, I go deliver pizza.
Everything is
sometimes they confuse the jobs, and that's how this happened. I was delivering a pizza, and she wanted to touch me.
Oh my god!
Sometimes I confuse the jobs.
Right?
It's not topping, ma'am. It's topless.
It's a topless. It's not toppings.
Yeah. Jesus.
What's this by D-Bud? What is this? That's why I didn't complain about having a catheter after my surgery. It could have been much, much worse.
Hey, that's Wolfing in the house.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm off today, so I figured I'd pop in.
Nice.
Nice
to meet you.
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we got to hang out with him. Anima got to actually hang out with him.
Yeah, they drove all the way down to Sparta to take us for lunch. That was amazing. So cool to finally meet, like, in real life.
Yeah.
And that's when she realized just how much taller than you I am.
Oh, yeah.
It's like C3PO and R2D2.
Oh, it's not that bad.
John seems small next to Gary. Scott and Keith are tall too. I looked like a kid in that photo we took.
They're behemoths like me.
Restaurant. Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm of average height.
What's this plot twist? I'm Mephi's mom. What?
Not really.
Okay. How many beers did you have already?
Boosh, I'm pretty sure I didn't help you shower today. Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I'm looking. It doesn't look like you have the video set up in either of the
No,
things.
What is it? It should be on both.
It's not. So I'm going to go find it and put it up here for you. I have a copy of it on my hard drive. But what's going on, John? What are you doing today? Did you come to talk about this movie?
Yeah, well, we're doing the John Carpenter one, right?
I got it.
Okay.
Which is a really good remake of the 1960 film, because it does have a lot of the same beats and scenes. And even though, don't get me wrong, the first film is a fairly good adaptation of the book. They left out some things. Carpenter put them back in.
Yeah, the Midford Coupons.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the video.
That's probably the only thing I know about the movie, like outside of just watching it, is the fact that it's closer to the book than the original version. Yeah. But people prefer the original version, from what I gathered. Because I think that it's a better film.
Look, this was a pay for hire film for Carpenter, so he didn't put his whole heart into it. But I want to point out too that the film we got isn't the film he made. He did his own edit, and Universal tampered with it. And one of the actors that's in the film, who is also the guy who helped with the kids, training the children, he said that it is not John Carpenter's vision, because the version, because he saw Carpenter's film, is a better film.
Probably.
So are you surprised to hear that? I'm not.
No. I've in the course of the last, let's say 4 years, you know what? Let's say this. In the past couple of years, where I've been more hands-on when it comes to doing research about the movie that we're doing, and not counting on my co-host, I've discovered lots of little different things that have been done, and some of them kind of came out during when they did the DVD commentary. Sometimes it's on an interview, sort of like they're on a Comic-Con, not a Comic-Con panel, but some sort of a panel, the actor studio kind of a panel, but not the actor studio. And they kind of divulge how things happen, and you get to realize that the movies sometimes take such a monumental effort to actually get to make the movie. It is unreal that some movies actually do get made. And, sometimes it's just an accident of some things. And it's really weird how movies you think for better or worse, okay? Sometimes it's really good movies that just happen to happen, like Ghostbusters. Wasn't supposed to be Ghostbusters. It just came together at the end.
Oh, yeah. It was like a completely different story, more science fiction, where it takes place in the past, present, and future.
It's darker. It's all that stuff. And that is just a fluke that Ivan Reitman and
Ivan Reitman saw that there was a story in there, and he got Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis really helped punch up the comedy of Dan Aykroyd's original thing, and you know about the original,
which was originally the Venkman character was going to be played by Belushi.
Yeah, Belushi and Eddie Murphy.
Belushi and Eddie Murphy. Belushi. And then that didn't happen. And so it became a completely different film. But a lot of the dialogue that was meant for Belushi ended up being delivered by Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually, because he didn't like some of the stuff that was being done to the Zedmore character, and he ended up giving some of his dialogue to Zedmore.
Yeah. Yeah. So all I'm saying is some of these movies are like fluke that they're made, and then there's the other side of the coin where the director has a vision, the writer had a great vision, even the cast were like adding in their input, and everything kind of seems nice, but everything gets ruined by some fucking executive that was like, no, we would like to see it this because of merchandise, or because we can sell it as this, or we can sell it as that. And movies that got fucking destroyed because of too much intervention, too much hands-on, too many people like stirring the pot and all that stuff, and it's really kind of a shame.
Yeah, studio interference is just ridiculous on a lot of movies. It takes a really powerful director to punch through that.
It's what led to even, and it's film related, but it's not the movie itself, but Drew Struzan retired because of studio interference with his posters. And he said that they just disrespect the artists that do movie posters. And it was Warner Brothers that just left such a sour taste in his mouth working on the Harry Potter films that he just didn't want to do it anymore. And he retired. Studios, man. chock full of flavor, more like chock full of assholes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me run the video for Bush. Jesus Christ. Finally,
You could have run it any
I've been
time
asking
then.
for it for the last 5 minutes.
Well, the last thing you said was, I'm on it. And that's it. That's all I heard. So I didn't know when you were done with it.
I was filling in dead air.
Yeah, just take over the show. I'm done. I'll see you guys.
You're done? Okay.
Oh my God, double Grinch.
Mr. Grinch.
So I got sad news today. Zoe has decided she can't do the show. It makes her too uncomfortable and nervous coming on here. And she thought I was going to be hurt and upset with it. I'm like, no, baby. I said, I'd love it if you would come on. It would be great. But, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. She's like,
I didn't think she would be a bigger chicken than me.
Oh, she is a puss and a half. If she was sitting in the room with me, I would have went, no problem, baby. But she's such a sweetheart. I'm okay with it. It just makes me sad because I think it seems like she had a good time when she was here last time.
I would have loved to have her on more often. I just love hanging out with her, period. She's great.
The biggest fear and if you do a survey, the biggest fear is not death, is public speaking. And it's not like there's a lot of people on screen. So there's 5 of us, right? But just the fact that there are people watching, even the one, makes people get the jitters and stuff. So I understand. I personally understand.
It did it with me. Go back and watch the first show I was with them. I was fiddling in my seat the whole time. I was so fucking uncomfortable and nervous. And
what I do is I try to use my humor to make them more comfortable, put them at ease. And it helps a lot of people.
They just told me the day before I was watching the show, and they just agreed to have me on as a guest the very next day. I was sitting there watching, thinking like, what the fuck? I can't do this.
Don't let Gary fool you. He just likes being a dick.
Oh, I know that.
Well, that's true too.
Well, you're definitely not like me, where I try to get on every show that I can, because I'm a media whore.
You're a media
whore. I really like doing this now. I just really never thought I'd grow into it.
It's crazy because sometimes I have friends like Loki and all that stuff, and I was Loki. You're doing a show, right? Do you need anybody on, like a friend or something? Because I'm fucking bored. And sometimes he doesn't even look at his messages. And after the show, he's like, "Dude, I would have had you on, but damn, I didn't even look at the fucking DMs. I'm sorry." Like,
he has a lot going on. He always wanted to do a show to wrap up House of the Dragon and have me on and Arwen, and it never happened because he has so much going on and 8 live shows a week and shit like that. So it's just no time to think about all of that and real life on top of that. So
who are we talking about?
Loki. And I wish we could have him
Loki
on more often. He's great.
He's a sweetheart.
I love doing House of the Dragons with him. It's so much fun.
He's really busy over the weekends. So
I'm trying to watch his show during my lunch hour, but I haven't been very successful lately because it's just crazy at work. So I don't even have my peace and quiet in the fucking locker room because people go there now too.
And by the way, I want to point out that I like this background that Martin did. It made it look like the original film. Now, some of the complaints was the hair, the kid's hair, which, the wigs look so fake. And it's like, first of all, those aren't wigs. That's their actual hair.
Not with all of them. No fucking way.
Yes,
way.
It was all their real hair.
What?
Yes.
Take the girl in the front. The way it shines, that looks like plastic hair.
There was just platinum bleach, and then they hairstyled it.
Wow. It only looks real in David.
David, but everybody says that. But the fact is, There were no wigs injured in the making of this film. There were no wigs injured in the making of this film. Thanks for stepping on my joke again.
It's my specialty. What can I say?
I know. That's why I'm marrying you.
Yeah, right.
So I'm looking for that book right now because I wanted. Here it is. I found it. This book came out in the 90s, like around, I think, 1999. And I'm going to see if I can find a copy of the book. I own it. It's right behind me in one of the boxes. And when the book came out for its second printing, and the second printing technically was still the first printing. It was just that it went from hardback to paperback. And when it went to paperback, it said soon to be an action-packed film starring Kurt Russell. And
which movie was it? Escape from LA?
This one? No. Well, it was a terrible movie.
This one? He's not in
this one.
movie.
Hold on. Will you fucking let me do what I'm doing? There we go. Vertical Run by Joseph R. Garber. And when I bought the book, it was in paperback form. And it had soon to be an action-packed film starring Kurt Russell. And you brought up so many of the films. I think that film was made. And it just never got released.
You think so?
Yeah. This happens far more than people realize, that a film will get made and it's just not even cost effective to release it. And they end up on a shelf for years. Sad. People don't know that the movie Platoon sat on a shelf for 2 years. Unreleased.
The best Fantastic Four movie ever made has never actually been released.
I don't understand that, though. It's already been made. Why not release it and try to make at least some of the money back?
A lot of times,
we did get Captain America, but they're saying that they want to do a director's cut because the film that got released was not Payun's actual film. It was edited by the studio again. So,
Monkey, it's better than the Fox version. Let's just put it that way.
I got to tell you, I actually really liked the Red Skull in that movie. Yep. I thought it was kind of neat the way it is. Very low budget film.
Yeah.
Now, I want to point out that Christopher Reeve, this is his last film before the accident. And
before that horse took him out.
Yeah. And just destroyed him. And that's Michael Pare right there. He has a very small part in this film because he dies pretty early in the film.
Both him and Mark Hamill have a very small role. Like Hamill has a little bit more, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I thought Mark Hamill was miscast in that part. He was not very good.
It's goofy to see him as a priest. He's not very convincing.
No, he is not.
Not as a priest.
No.
Now this guy here, he's a regular with John Carpenter. I can't think of his name right now. Hold on, let me go get it. Because he is in, I think, in almost every John Carpenter movie. Like Escape from New York, he's one of the homeless guys. That's right, I'm president.
I actually looked at when I did my research about Gremlins 2. Robert Picardo is a Joe Dante guy.
Yeah.
It was like the first time Joe Dante approached him, he said no, even though he was a young actor that needed a job. But after the first time he was approached, he was like, every time Joe Dante needs a guy to fill in the blanks, I'm there. Because every time Joe Dante doesn't know who to cast in the role, he just calls Robert Picardo.
Because he's great in everything he does.
I know.
Bob Picardo can't suck at anything. He's too good.
He was so good because Anima hasn't even seen it yet, The Howling.
Oh,
and Picardo is so good as the psycho brother. My God. And he actually caused me to have an anxiety attack in that movie. Because when he corners that reporter and won't let her out of the clinic. Man, I felt the guy was penned in with her, and it just freaked me out. How old was I? 16 when that came out. Damn that movie. George Buck Flower is the guy's name that plays the town drunk in this. And he always gets weird. Yeah, Slasher Fred. There you go.
That was the only death that I didn't like.
Well, it's not very well done.
No,
you can tell it's a fucking dummy.
It's a dummy, yeah. It's so obvious. It could have been really great and gory, but it's fucking dummy and it's obvious.
That's a budget thing.
Another actor that could have easily been played by any other actor in the world is Kirstie Alley, because it's just not a very interesting character.
You don't see any of the deaths, really. I mean, you see the woman burning up, but that's kind of a dummy too. And whenever they shoot themselves or step off a cliff or something, they just cut away. They really took out most of the gore.
I think that's one of the things to make it PG or something.
Probably.
And because it reeks.
Well, it's not PG though. This movie is rated R. And they took out all the gore. Yes.
Weird.
It's very fucking weird.
It ends with a barn exploding full of little children. You know they're in there.
If you see just the explosion and don't see the children bodies flying all over the place, the MPAA.
Well, if you go back to the original film, you see the glowing eyes through the flames.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At the end, and that's creepy. That's the original. I thought the original was more horrifying. But this still is. I think that Carpenter made a better film than what it gets recognition for. And by the way, I want to point out in this film, I noticed some weird shit about Christopher Reeve's hair. And this film and Remains of the Day are two films that had Christopher Reeve in them, where I noticed something weird about his hair. And then Anima asked me one day, and I like, does he have alopecia? And I went, that's a good question. I went and found out, and yes, he does.
No.
Which explains why his hair is like that.
We watched a documentary about his life after his accident. Well, kind of before, and most of the documentary was after. And you just see this bald patch on the back of his head growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought it came from the wheelchair because he had his head on the headrest all the time. And Gary Googled it and said, no, it's alopecia. And that's why his hair.
And he'd suffered from it since he was a kid. And he had clumps of hair that would just fall out his whole life. And then it would grow back. And then it would fall out again. But I noticed it like in two films where, you know how your hair curls right here at your neck as it starts to get long? Yeah. It looked like it was over the neck, not growing from the neck. And I thought that was really weird. That's because he was wearing a hairpiece in both films. This leads to one of my favorite moments that I felt I would have liked to have seen more time spent on. The guy who falls on the grill when he passes out.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of my favorite moments in the film. I was like, fuck yeah, that was cool.
I mean, at least he was passed out when he died like that. But yeah, when they discover him,
yeah, that's the other thing that goes with it. You can get like sores or it's like scales, or you can get what he's talking about here, blisters. There's another actor named George Sanders. Well, he plays the character Christopher Reeve plays in this one, George Sanders. And George Sanders, I think the final scene is so much better in the original film than in this one. It felt like it just sort of falls flat in this film.
Because of the glowing eyes through the barn explosion?
No, because of the way George Sanders plays it when he's trying to keep them out of his brain, and you see the brick wall and you see something's beating on it from the other side, trying to get through that wall, and it's falling apart in dust. And it's just, I felt like it was just a more exciting scene. There's nothing exciting about this film.
Oh, did we catch the guy on the grill in the slideshow, by the way? Because I didn't spot it. The well done dude.
Most probably not.
Well, it's so good too because everybody's walking around going, "Everybody okay? What's going on?" Then you hear this one woman go, and then you see the guy cooking with the wieners and burgers.
Oh, he's not cooking anymore. He's beyond well done at that point.
Yeah. And what was the joke last night I made about that?
Is that guy okay? Oh, he's well done.
Yeah. Oh, he's not okay. He's well done. It's just a terrible costume. And I got to tell you something.
He looks like a pedophile.
I hate saying this about Mark Hamill.
He does, yeah.
He's a terrible actor.
Yeah.
He is.
He is. A certain point of view? Never mind.
I know what you're doing. A certain point of view. Like, what? That's how you want to say that. Obi-Wan Kenobi just said from a certain point of view, and then
No, I have no hate in my heart for Revenge of the Jedi. I do not. I absolutely don't care to say that it's my second favorite. It used to be my first favorite. And
wait a minute, you mean Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, I was joking.
I know you're doing
title.
What Lucas. Yeah, after Blue Harvest.
Yeah,
the original Assault on Precinct 13 can be seen as a remake of the John Wayne movie. It absolutely is a remake. No, absolutely, Sasha Fred. An uncredited remake. She looks weird. That is a weird looking actress right there.
Who? Oh, the
one he's talking to in the movie. Yeah. She's married to Peter Jason's character, Ben Bloom.
Kozlowski.
I can't be pregnant because he just got back and we haven't had sex. And it's like, so she's considering having an abortion, but the government comes in and offers him $3,000 a baby for that per household.
But I think the true reason behind keeping all these babies is that the babies are keeping a safe environment for themselves, giving the mothers nightmares.
Yes,
absolutely.
The babies change the opinion of the mothers that were considering the procedure.
I mean, one of them is still a virgin, and she's the one who loses the baby. So maybe she just something happened there, something went wrong because David turns out way more human and the baby turns out way more alien. The others are the perfect mix that they achieved. So with these two, with these pairing, the mix went off. And maybe because one of the mothers was so young.
Now, the actor that plays the school teacher, that's Linda Kozlowski. Now, a lot of people probably don't know who the hell she is, but any guy that was alive in the 80s knows who she is because she ended up marrying Paul Hogan.
She was married to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. She was the hot. Exactly, she was the hot blonde. Yeah, she was the hot blonde in Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, she gave Paul Hogan his green card.
Yeah, he left his wife for her.
I mean, I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
Look at what Prince Charles cheated on Diana with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Camilla. Oh.
You know, I did a little bit of research. I couldn't find the actress that played Christopher Reeve's wife. Has she done anything?
She died.
Like
she died 2 years after him from cancer.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
The kids took over the foundation because she got sick, and the sicker she got, she needed more help.
No, the actress playing Christopher Reeve's wife.
You talking about Kirstie Alley?
Oh no,
No.
The Asian
the pseudo Asian chick that kills herself in the movie.
Her name is
that
Karen
was
Khan.
his wife in has she done anything?
I don't know. Let's take a look. She was in Mrs. Doubtfire. She was in Black Sheep. She was in Metro with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, okay.
The last thing she did was the Nash Bridges movie with back in 2021 with what is his fucking name? Don Johnson.
There was a Nash Bridges movie?
Yeah, I got it.
She was on 13 Reasons Why. That Suicide series.
Yep. She played Miss Douglas in that show.
All right.
I'm looking for. She's what you would call somebody who's does her job and just not very well known.
Okay, we have a video to run here for our good friend Tim.
Well, Chris,
by what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
I'm sorry, what's my intention?
Christopher Reeve has the best performance in the film, but that's not saying much because the acting is so flat, and I blame the edit on that for a lot of it. I also think that the soundtrack could have been better. Once again, you know, he worked with another composer, and Carpenter wrote the music with another.
Kids are impressive, though. I mean, the lines that they had to learn, they were 9 years old. And had to talk
the kids, absolutely. And that's the one thing I was going to bring up is that actor Peter Jason, who's been in all of Carpenter's movies, he was in charge of the kids. He's the one who plays Ben Bloom in the movie. He ends up dying by when they he almost hits one of the kids when they walk right out in front of him. He stops to check on him, and then they all put the evil eyes on him, and he, out of control, gets into his truck and drives into a big old tanker, propane tank, and dies. They're evil shits. And all those scenes, all the killings in the film came from the original film. There's a great little video that does a side-by-side showing you how common the scenes are from this movie to the original film. A lot of the scenes are repeats. I like how he trained
with the kids, because the kids, they marched like soldiers.
He marched them like soldiers.
That's how he trained them, yeah. He had to march to military like tunes to get them like in sync. And it works.
Yeah, Kirstie Alley is not very good in this movie. But
she's okay, but like we pointed out,
he's a good actor.
So
really, is it the character or the dialogue that make her so uninteresting in this film?
It's both, I think.
Because anybody could have played that character.
It's not an exciting character.
The only way that they couldn't control you is if you're saying you don't have a brain.
Maybe she was still on like Cheers mode.
Possibly, because this is after Cheers.
I think it's the character. She delivers boring speeches, and the only thing she really does is take that baby away for an autopsy. And then they make her enter.
There's no story with her. Exactly. Yeah, there's no story with her character.
She's just an instrument.
Yeah. In filmmaking, it's called device or storytelling.
Yeah.
She's just a device within the story. Her character's not very interesting either, his wife. Her job is to be tormented by the child and then kill herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has that weird mother-son moment because, I joked while we're watching it that right as they're driving away, I wonder what David's thinking. I fooled them. I fooled them all.
And I mean, didn't they want to make this movie more about the women than only?
That was the thing about the original film. The original film with George Sanders is all the story is told from the male perspective, whereas this film focuses more on the women because they're the ones who are being the most affected by what's
But
happened.
they don't make them interesting characters at the same time. And that's a big flaw of this movie.
Yeah, I need to take off. I got to do something for Allie.
Okay, buddy. See you later. Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, no problem.
Say hi.
I will. I'll see whoever's going to be there tonight. My show.
All right, buddy.
So,
Thank you.
That's tonight at 8:00 Central Time.
Yep. All right. Bye.
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 So join him tonight and see him get his ass kicked by another video game. It'll be fun.
It's fun. I wish I could still do it. Hang out and troll him. I miss that.
What? Play a
Yeah,
game
and again, we don't know, Tom Baker, if that is John Carpenter's fault or if it is Universal's for
That
interfering.
was Freud speaking, Gary.
Would you? I don't know if the word fart falls under Freudian.
No, you say that's a Freudian mistake when you say what you think, but not what you want to say. You
Which
really
is
meant to say
Freudian slip. And I've got to tell you, I've been wearing a Freudian slip since I was young.
What color?
White.
Satin white?
Red. I like red. Red is really complimentary color to me.
Goes with your eyes.
Goes with my two colored eyes. I don't know if you know that. I don't think I've ever talked to you about that. That I have heterochromia.
you've mentioned it.
Two
so
different
often on
colored
the
eyes.
channel.
I don't think I've mentioned it to Mephisto though.
I think the internet knows.
There's proof I'm a cross dresser. There's a photo. Is it still in here?
Oh yeah, there's that photo, and then there's the toga photo. Definitely.
I don't know if it's in this one
Toga
or in the main.
Toga is not a cross-dressing attire.
No, you have.
No.
Have you seen that photo, Mephisto?
He is cross-dressing in that photo.
He
I
is
have
feeling.
to say no.
He is feeling his feminine side in that photo. Let me tell you.
I was not feeling feminine. But I did have the come hither look
feminine
to the female that was taking the
feminine?
photograph.
He was.
It's so gay. That photo is so gay.
It's okay. I've seen enough gay today. Don't have to.
Well, be prepared. You're going to see some more.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. The empty, whatever you call those things. And then Kirstie Alley out there smoking like she just had sex. Weird.
Well, there are stories about Kirstie Alley. Not sure they're all true.
There we go. That's me in drag.
Very good.
Remove the Bush McFadden comment. There you go.
The one with the
That's
white
me in drag.
rag?
No, the one that,
I'm joking.
that looks good in the dress.
I'm joking. I've got it. I can tell who has the feminine feature and who does not. Even through a thick layer of makeup. It's all about the Adam's apple.
Now, that scene is so important in the film right here with Mark Hamill and Kirstie Alley because neither of them do a good job of acting in this film. And so you have these two people not acting in a film together.
Birds of a feather.
He's not even look. They don't even look at. He's looking at her. She's just looking off in the distance. Just such a weird scene.
I think it's trickle down effect. I mean, if the director is not enthusiastic with the movie, neither of the actor would be. None of the actor would be.
I don't know, because Christopher Reeve did a really good job.
No, he's fantastic in this film.
You can tell he really wanted to make a great film. So I don't know.
I've seen better performance out of him.
Superman 4 doesn't count.
Yeah. Harry is built like Molly Ringwald in that picture.
Look at the next comment that he makes.
Get here, his drag name is Butterfinger. It's because of all the peanut butter inside me.
Good thing I'm not allergic.
Now, there was a scene that was supposed to happen as they were baby before toddler age. John Nicotero actually built the animatronic babies and cast the early form of silicone they started using in the 90s. And they built the animatronics. They worked like Chucky, and they were going to stand up suddenly, all of them together, and turn and look at something and start walking towards whatever that is.
Look at the mothers, all in the same direction.
And I wish they had finished that scene, because we got to see some of the behind the scenes animatronics on that. And I'm like, oh, that would have been fun. I wish they had done it.
Yeah, they scratched though.
This also is in the original film. Gary Terryfoot, so many people while in drag, they had to sneak him back door. Okay.
You get a video. Fine.
I don't know if Martin's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Just filling in dead air.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you,
I don't like the idea of it going out the back door.
There you go. Get your goddamn video.
Reminds me, Gary, there are 2 new videos that you need to make.
This is also in the original film, done slightly differently, but it's still the same effect, that she puts her hand in a boiling pot.
Oh, yeah.
The child was actually in the crib.
They had the children practice that death stare and give the best one. But at this age, that kid looks so innocent while giving her the stare. She looks like a doll. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the main girl that I think has the best performance in the film, her and David. Because
for sure.
She didn't even understand the things she was being told to say. She couldn't understand the context. She delivered her lines very menacingly and threatening.
Because she did it deadpan. That's it.
Yeah. But
my problem, Tom, with Mouth of Madness with the creatures is we saw too much of them. It's better to see flashes. And it was the far shot that didn't work for me. The close-ups worked.
What I wanted to say is the young version. Like, what is she in this? 1 year? That there.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be the same age. Yeah.
She looks like a doll. She looks so sweet while staring. No, the older version, the 9-year-old version, she's ice cold. But the baby version looks so sweet while she stares at her mom, trying her to go jump off that cliff. And that's creepy.
He's very creepy. They're the 2 better child actors in the film. And David is just so damned likable. And the kid, I mean, he's even in the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street. He plays one of the kids.
He went off and had a career.
Yeah. And the girl that plays the evil leader of the pack, she's gorgeous now. Like, wow.
The other kids
This was,
don't really
what,
have
95?
lines, right?
Shot in 94, released in 95, same year as Congo. And there she is, being tormented by her little girl.
Yep.
And by the way, Industrial Light and Magic, because originally Carpenter wanted the kids to put in black lenses that would make their whole eye glow. But they were too uncomfortable. And they didn't want to do that to the poor kids. So They just went with something else. They contacted Industrial Light and Magic, and ILM did the eye effects for the film.
Well, they would have done effects anyway on the eyes. And
Now, by the way, I don't know if anybody else noticed at the beginning. I missed it. Every single time I've seen it, I didn't notice the shadow of something moving over the town.
Yes.
Oh,
I noticed.
I do remember.
And so I'm going to go back and watch that opening because I know that something's moving over the town because you can hear it. And you're looking from its perspective. But there's a couple of shots in there of a shadow, and I'm like, I never noticed it. So I got to go back and watch that. This table scene is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's basically explaining to the audience what's going on rather than showing us. And that's a mistake in filmmaking.
Show, don't tell.
I was gonna say one of the issues is the inconsistencies between trying to keep whatever it is to be a mystery and then flat out just saying it because it's some sort of an exposition dump somewhere in the movie.
Yeah, and that's one of them right there. That's an exposition dump. And we should have had a whole story about what's going on with the government, that we should have seen people within the government. There should have been scenes. What is going on? Because this isn't the only town. This is happening all over. And also, I feel like they don't go into detail like they did in the original film, as well as, of course, clearly the book, of what the Midwich cuckoos means, because there is the European cuckoo. And this is a species that lays its eggs in the nests of other birds. And then their bird hatches, the cuckoo hatches, and it pretty much kills the other birds in the nest, the other chicks.
Yeah.
In order to get all the nourishment it can from the parent. And the parent treats it like it's its own. It's a very pernicious.
The thing is, cuckoos grow faster and bigger than the other chicks in the nest, and they just kick them out.
They kick them out.
The parents don't realize. The parents think it's one of their own. And
yep.
Feed it.
And that's what the title of the story, The Midwich Cuckoos, means. That this alien species doesn't breed on its own or raise its young. It goes to another species, breeds into them, and then lets them raise them until they're adults, and then they take over the planet or whatever they're going to do. That was a cool effect right there with the eye, the iris. But I will say this is stupid, that you wouldn't have evil eye drops next to real eye drops.
Hell no.
On a table. That just doesn't fucking happen.
Also, if the eye drop doesn't work to dilute the eye, you wouldn't just go add more.
That's the word. Thank you, Bush. Brood parasites. That's the word. The basilisk. I like that word. Basilisk. And by the way, Monkey, what the fuck is with your emoji right now, or your avatar?
It's a meditating dog. It's a Shiba meditator.
Shiba Inu.
Shiba Inu, right.
Weird dog.
What?
It's the Doge.
Yeah, this is where they make her
and
put the little eye drops in her own eye and blind her. Yay.
But
The problem with this film is it's not scary.
It's kind of relatable, though, because she hurt the girl by putting the wrong drop in her eye, and so they all come for vengeance. But the scene with the mom, where she has the mom put her hand in the boiling pot, the mom didn't do anything. It was just pure evil.
It's malicious. It's malicious.
No. The kid got burned because the food was too hot.
Yeah, well.
So
the housekeeper at school is menacing them and they kill them. It's kind of but putting a wrong drop in the eye, that is injury. That's way more serious than the other stuff.
So there is a new mini series that came out a year ago.
Yep.
Called The Midwich Cuckoos.
7 episodes.
I watched them, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't like the ending because it lacks that same impact, but it's still very interesting what they do at the end.
Please don't tell me I haven't reached the end yet.
I'm not saying. That's why I said it vaguely the way I did. It has a different.
No,
it's same ending but different ending. It's different the way they did it.
At this point, Mark Hamill isn't dead, I think. Yeah, that kid is fucking insane.
He's so mean looking. And the only reason why Christopher Reeve's character decides to start teaching the kids is because David shows him that there's hope.
Which, to be honest, it's false, but
I don't know if it's false, but the thing is, David starts to feel empathy, mainly because he understands. It starts with the girl that commits suicide because she lost her baby, and he sees the grieving of Christopher Reeve for his wife, and he can empathize because his own grief for his lost partner.
Also, there's another good scene with David where he meets the young girl who had the miscarriage, and
that's what I'm talking.
And he sees the image of her self-deleting with a pistol, and you see the look on his face is sad. Hey, Reeve by Nature, what's up, buddy? It was not unmerry. I had a very quiet Christmas. Yeah, cuckoos are weird birds. There's a lot of, but you know, that brood parasite thing is it goes across the animal kingdom. It's not the only species that do that shit. Yes, Sandra, we are here to talk about birds. What's your favorite bird? I like the swallow.
Oh.
Mine's the kingfisher.
Kingfisher is a really good one. I like cranes. I don't like blue jays, and I definitely don't like cardinals. Blue jays are just mean-spirited birds. Ravens are amazing. I've always wanted to have a raven.
I like the harpy eagle.
But ravens are the harbinger of doom because they're a carrion bird.
I still like them.
I know.
They're smart as a human toddler. And I just think that's amazing. Crows, too, I got to be honest. Crows and ravens.
Crows and
very
ravens
smart birds.
Are surprisingly loyal because if you're nice to them, they're very nice to you.
Yeah, there's a video I just watched last week of this mother-daughter who helped this crow, and then it's family, and all of a sudden they started bringing gifts to the mother-daughter, and like some of these things were valuable that they would find and they bring back to them, and they weren't just doing it because they're getting food; they were doing it because they liked them. They really like this mother and daughter.
Okay, Reed.
You know, isn't that what New Year's resolutions are for? Breaking within a month. I like owls too. I got to be honest. They're fascinating, but they freak me out with the fucking stares that they give. Because their eyes are like always like wide open, like just weird. Oh, he's showing his rainbow colors back there. How progressive. I like The Boys from Brazil. That's a good film. I read the book when I was a kid, and I was looking forward to seeing that as a movie. Steve Guttenberg is a dramatic actor in that. Everybody's so used to him with the comedy. I'm like, no, he did drama too. This is the moment where Reeve's character gets hope, because David, for some reason, reaches up and grabs his hand and holds it.
Yeah,
it's a mixture of compassion and affection.
Because they discover they have something in common, because David lost his assigned partner, the stillborn. She was supposed to be his partner, and he knows that, even though nobody ever told him.
Yeah.
And he realizes that the doctor lost someone too, and that's why he reaches for his hand, because he's actually able to feel empathy.
What was
That's
it,
the only
D. Bud
reason why he
Martin?
agrees to teach the kids.
Do you dare tell us, D. Bud Martin? Does it have anything to do with not using your left hand? I dare you. I double dog dare you to tell us what it is. I had an interesting confrontation with a cockatiel, big one. And I was trying to free my girlfriend because she had, for some reason, just has to touch every animal. And I'm like, stop touching animals. And it got its claws into her sweater and wouldn't let go. And she's freaking out. So I came over there and got the claws loose. And then he reached down with his big beak and bit me right on the wrist, and hard. And I just leaned in close to it and I said, let go or I'm going to fucking kill you. And he let go. Now, I don't know if he understood my words, but he understood my tone. And he let go. And I decided from that day forward, I don't like cockatoos. But then I met a couple of cockatoos that were really sweet, which is different than a cockatoos.
This is a bit too much. I'm going to get me some coffee.
Get some coffee. I kind of felt like all the alien kids should have had light blue eyes like she does. I have kept track of every penny I've made or spent since 1/1/1988. That is a severely OCD thing to do. No more cocaine on Wednesdays. What it feels like sometimes when I watch this film is like there's scenes missing. It's like let's cut every 5 minutes out of the movie.
Well, like you mentioned, there's definitely the shit that's going on in the government and what they know about.
Yeah, there should be more of a story going on here.
Yeah.
And it's not. Now, this scene, this guy gets what he deserves. He's threatening these little aliens. Hits one of them with his broomstick. So it's like, yeah, you kind of had it coming, motherfucker.
But they should have just cut away and then show the body on the windshield. They shouldn't have shown him actually hit it, because it's so obviously a dummy. It looks cheap. It's kind of cool that they make him climb the ladder backwards, though.
Yeah, it's
he
like,
doesn't fall off because
that's not easy to do.
No, that's not easy to do sober, but he's a drunk. And he's holding the broom with both his hands.
I also just thought that with everybody, the way they've died so far in the film, the last thing I'd do is mouth off to these fucking little critters. They should have had him saying it to somebody else, and they hear him.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
They only react like that when it's a threat to them. They don't care about him threatening somebody else. They wouldn't give a shit.
No, he's saying that about them. You're not hearing me. I said he should be talking about them, and they overhear it. It would have been a better scene.
It's not a direct threat, though. It's just talking. It's just words.
That's what a threat is.
Yeah, but does it work like that for them? If it's not a physical threat?
Well, yes, they would perceive that as a threat.
In this
movie, if I get a chance to, I'd kill them all. Yeah, fuck yeah, it's a threat.
In this movie, yes, they would have acted like that. In the original, no. In the original, they know who doesn't want them around, but they don't act until they are being agree. If somebody is a real physical threat.
Because he says, I got a gun and everything. I'll do it. Absolutely. I don't think that him threatening them made sense.
Well, the guy was
drunk.
So
yeah, I just consider it a stupid scene. It's a stupid scene. If they keep Guy Gardner's haircut and don't change it, Saggy has to paint Cyber Frog on her boobs and jump around making frog noises.
Oh my god. Who convinced Saggy to do that?
I'm not even following what he says anymore.
Oh, no.
Respect my authority. Yeah. Screw you guys, going home.
I knew it was you, Monkey. Nobody else could do it.
Yeah, he gets impaled on his own broom.
And the shards from the windshield. I'm forgetting the English language.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, this is where he finally gets to see the hybrid alien that was born stillborn. And it doesn't look human at all. And it was pointed out that is the same alien that's used in one of the seasons of X-Files intro. And they were saying, well, they borrowed it from the X-Files. And I'm like, well, maybe X-Files borrowed it from them.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, oh, definitely, Hammersley. That's a good reference, Look, Damien, this is all for you. And there's the alien, and it's the exact same alien from one of the season intros to the X-Files. It just, if there was something more compelling in the dialogue. It just looks like two people that are talking outside after class. It doesn't look like a government agent trying to let somebody know how serious this is. It's just, Oh, that's Doctor Who, by the way. It's set across. It's a lightning rod off the top of the church, because he was involved with the deal that swapped out the baby with the child of the jackal in the movie The Omen, and he tries to warn Thorne of what they had done. Then he heads back to the church, and the devil kills him. And of course, that is it's the second Doctor Who.
He's like, don't let me catch you again, or else I'm gonna open up this shirt and you're gonna
Yes, he's Superman.
You're gonna see who's
because I'm an alien too.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really had a tough time watching this movie. I watched it last year again.
It's a film I like to pull out every once in a while and watch, but I fast forward through certain parts because I find it
There are
dull.
the moments where they're standing in line in front of the entire town and they're like glowing eyes and kicking everybody's ass.
We didn't fast
That
forward
scene's
to
coming
anything
up right now.
yesterday.
Yeah, I know. It's coming up right now.
This is the mob from In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
With their torches and pitchforks.
That's also a very good death when she has that lady set herself on fire.
Yeah, because that's Mark Hamill's wife, by the way, in the movie.
I think he's dead by this point, right?
What?
He's dead by this point.
He's dead now, yeah.
That's what propels her to lead the revolution.
Yeah.
Now, her death is taken straight out of the original movie too, except it was a man instead of a woman. Oh, that lost chance to get rid of at least two of them.
Right. No, it is. I just saw it over there. Somebody said Pertwee. It's like, no, it is not Pertwee. He is the third Doctor. It's Patrick Troughton that played the second Doctor. And he's also the priest that gets impaled in The Omen. All right, this is where he dies. This is also done almost exactly the same way. In the original film, he drives full speed into a brick wall. In this one, they have him drive off a road into a
Gas tank.
Yeah, natural propane tank. David Warner was fantastic in The Omen. And you know that movie gets made fun of for the decapitation scene with David Warner? I'm like, motherfucker, I was there when that movie opened. I went to see that fucking movie back in 76, and that was fucking horrifying.
Dude,
when that sheet of glass cuts his head off.
That was one of the best effects of his time. I remember how it was.
Because they did a casting of David Warner's face. So that's David Warner's face flipping over top of that sheet of glass.
The sheet of glass is gliding and the head is rolling and jumping on the glass. It's fuck.
I feel bad for Christopher Reeve because he has to stand out in every scene with her.
Yeah, they really didn't have any chemistry between them at all. It's not a, it's not a shocker. Kirstie Alley is a lot of things.
Did
but
she
I don't
ever have
remember
chemistry with anyone?
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, she's great on Cheers.
Yeah, but go back and watch the episodes. She was a much more of a counterbalance to Ted Danson than Shelley Duvall. She was a different counterbalance, but she was not. She was.
Well, she was nuts. Her character was absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah,
and that's what made her character so likable. Is that she says things that is people shouldn't say out loud.
Yeah, but if you go back to Look Who's Talking, she really didn't really have chemistry with John Travolta. That's why the movie kind of is being carried by the voice of Bruce Willis, not even Bruce Willis himself. It just carries the movie. So yeah, it kind of hurts that it's basically your leading man and leading woman in the movie don't have any chemistry. They don't mesh well, even though they're not doing any romantic kind of thing. They don't even mesh well when it comes to playing opposite each other.
I found a lot of the deaths in
Yeah.
the first movie good. Not a fan of that franchise, but I did watch the first 3.
Which, what are you talking about?
Final
Lucas
Destination.
Final Destination.
Oh,
No,
Final.
the one I just had up on screen.
I haven't seen any of them.
Dude, I just saw the trailer for the first one. I said, this is stupid. So I
The problem with the film, and I'll tell you, the main problem is Death is in the movie. Death is a character, but you never see him. And I think that was a mistake. Because it's Death catching up with everybody. You don't rob me. Yeah, it's poor David. And they found this little girl that can just play such a bitchy person perfectly.
For a
They're
moment
Vulcans, by the way. All of them.
They're Vulcans?
Yeah, they're all about the logic.
They're all about logic.
Yeah.
They're all about logic.
Here's when Mark Hamill died, right?
And he doesn't know that there's some of them standing right behind him. That'll teach you not to read the script.
Yeah.
For a moment there, I thought that the girl was going to kill David, because she said, "You are of no use, and we cannot leave you here. We have to solve this." And I
think that was an underlying thing that was being considered, killing him in the original book. Here we go. Then drops the torch at her own feet.
It's just
she doesn't
funny.
even scream. Everybody else feels the pain. She doesn't. She just burns. That was weird.
Well, the weird part
Well,
is...
they probably had better control.
Yeah, the weird part is it's a small town in the 90s, and they have torches and pitchforks as if this was 1759, and we're hunting for witches.
It's kind of weird. These are progressives that live in California, and all they can find is torches.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great look for a horror film that you can see little children that have superpowers or devil's powers, and they're just standing in line and just pushing people with their fucking strength of a will.
What would have been interesting is if they had done this as a period piece, because it was done on there's the alien again, dead inside.
Clearly a female alien.
And if they had done this as a period film taking place in the 50s or early 60s, I think it would have worked better.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it wouldn't have impacted the budget.
Did they understand aliens back then, though?
They could have said it's like the devil. It could have worked as a maybe even 20s, not even 50s, 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever you want. Just just have to hire or rent a few old cars to make sure the cars kind of fit. That's about it. How much was this budget?
It's a good question. Let's go look and see.
It's probably didn't do a lot of it probably didn't do much money. I don't remember.
No, it lost money. $22 million budget, and it only earned domestically 9.4 million.
Yeah.
And it bombed.
Yeah, this is where they make her self-dissect. And a lot of people don't realize why they did that. It's because they know she dissected the
The alien, the baby alien.
Yeah.
I think this one was trying to titillate the audience in a, skirting the line R-rated movie.
I think
it's a 1957 book, and they shot it 3 years later, 1960. Okay, and so it was, made a film in the period it was written in. So, and I think they should have done the same thing. I think it's a mistake also with the other remake miniseries. Again, it's still modern. It's like, what is it? This is an isolated little town. All they had to do is swap out the cars and the costumes, and it would have been perfect for doing a period piece taking place in the 60s or late 50s. It's just, I don't know. It was a mistake on so many levels. I still like this film. I just don't consider it even close to one of his better films. It was at 11 the last time I checked before today, because it opened early. And so after this weekend, if it gets any good word of mouth, it could make at least 25 million this weekend. I'm hoping it doesn't fail, because this is something that Keith and I have preached, and I talked to Andre and Tom about this too, is that Keith, I think Keith is wrong. He says 75 million. I said, I think 75 is too much too. I think that 50 million should be as much as a film should cost. When you do the devaluation of the dollar and inflation and blah, 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 a $20 million film was a good budget in the 80s. And that comes to about 50 million to 55 million today. Why would a film cost more than that? And people go, well, visual effects. Like, visual effects aren't as expensive as you think they are. And I just get so frustrated with these over $50 million budgets for a film. And part of the problem is these actors started getting greedy in the 80s, because Harrison Ford kind of started it, being one of the highest paid actors for decades. He was 3 decades. He was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Other people competed with him, Eddie Murphy and other big name actors, but it was always Ford that had the highest pay for the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s. And I'm like, why do you want to break the bank to be in a movie? I know it's about your retirement. I get that, but I think there's a greed factor that just kind of annoys me with people that work in film. Well, so many problems with music is that the composers are usually the last one to work, and they have to come in there and work sometimes right up to the delivery of the film to theaters. And that's what led to the fight between John Carpenter and Ennio Morricone. He refused to work any further on the thing, because Carpenter kept editing and making changes. This scene's kind of goofy too. It's not how a gunfight between law enforcement and the National Guard would happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say anything disrespectful to law enforcement, but especially the National Guard, modern National Guard, would kick the shit out of law enforcement.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of fucking Rangers in the fucking National Guard all over the place. The eye effects in this are great, and especially when they get finally, when you get to see them really alien out with their fucking power, you see the insides of their heads. And I was like, that is a cool effect. We should have seen that sooner.
I don't know. It's sort of it's that last battle. So I don't know. If
it was supposed to emphasize how much harder they're working to try to get through, but the tension isn't in there. It's not a very tense scene. It's far more tense than the original with George Sanders. A lot of tight close-ups. Now, a lot of people don't realize what the bus was for. This is explained in the new miniseries done on the BBC, is that they were going to be transported away to a location where they can be safe. And they were already in control of other people, manipulating them, people within the government. See, if they'd had a whole government story, it would have created that whole paranoia thing, which is, are you telling me some of the people we're working with may be being controlled by these things? There's a fucking story.
Yeah.
Nowhere in this movie.
What? Maybe it was on the director's cut?
It might be in John's cut. Yeah. And I'm hoping before we lose him that we'll finally get a director's cut of this film.
I don't think it's worth it to him or to the studio to remake this. Even if he does have a cut where he, like, it's in storage somewhere, I don't know if it's worth it for him to dust it off and bring it out, because this movie was not popular back then. Nobody probably knows about it today. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I made a review about this last October, but a few months later, YouTube decided to have a copyright claim on it for like a few seconds that I took from the film itself and put it on, even though it was less than 7 seconds, which fine. So I did a re-upload, and got way more views after the re-upload, which was fine. But I didn't think it was that good of a, the review is good. It's just the movie is not good. And people watched it, and I was like, and it left some good comments about the fact that, oh, I like this because, yeah, when I saw this, the kids creeped me out. The kids creeped my wife out for sure. And she didn't watch the movie for a very long time because the kids creeped her out. She's not really a horror person as well.
Yeah, I know somebody like that.
But I never found it scary. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't find it scary or anything.
It's not scary.
I mean, the kids didn't creep me out. I thought it was like interesting, the way that they manifest their powers. Sort of a telekinetic and telekinesic kind of powers combined. So mind and matter together.
Yeah, I'm looking back through the years, and it's like Stallone, absolutely. Him, Kevin Costner competed with Harrison Ford a lot for budget.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was in there a couple times. Adam Sandler, by the time we got to the 2000s, was starting to really make buck.
Oh,
then Robert Downey Jr.
Jim Carrey was in like mid 90s up to 2000. Every single movie, he was the top, top
66.
paid actor.
He made $66 million in 2004. Jim Carrey did.
Adam Sandler? Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
In 2004?
Yeah, in 2004.
Well,
I'm going year by year. 1987 was Stallone.
I mean, look, he got was it 8 million for The Mask or 10 million for The Mask? But
Look
from
at that
The
face
Mask
there.
on, it was like 20 million, 20 million, 20 million every single movie, and he had one movie each year. You're saying in 2004 he made 60 For what? What did he do in 2004?
I don't know.
Yes Man and Eternal Sunshine and Spotless Mind. That's the only thing I can think about in 2004.
All they have here is by year. So in 87, Stallone took it for $74 million, most paid actor. Stallone took it again in 88. Then 89, Eddie Murphy took it with $60 million. Stallone took it back the next year with $63 million for a film. Doesn't show what film.
It must be adjusted for inflation because nobody paid $74 million for an actor for a movie.
Okay, here we go. Now they're doing it fucked up. They're saying annually. Now I'm seeing where they did that. I'm like, really? I don't remember that because I know Harrison Ford. He had a rule of not doing more than one film a year, and he would make like a ton off of one movie.
How many movies did Stallone do annually to get $74 million in 80 whatever?
Yeah, 1987.
That is insane. Wow, how many movies did he do in 1987?
He did Over the Top. Yeah,
Over the Top, and what
film.
else?
Terrible movie. I hate that movie. I'm not seeing anything else.
Oh, he did Lock Up, I think, in 87 as well. I'll check. No, that's 89.
Yeah, it's only showing Over the Top for 87. Now, also, you got to remember his earnings include as a producer and director and writer. So I think this is a very bad. This is over on Wikipedia, so I shouldn't be expecting anything good from that. So,
look, if you're checking an actor's annual income and you're adding in his director's royalties and writer's
that's what they're doing. I'm telling you, they're doing that.
So in 87, Sylvester Stallone had royalties on Rambo and Rocky and most times as a writer and producer and director. There is no way he's getting $74 million for a movie that, to be honest, Over the Top, the budget was $16 million. No way in hell. No chance in hell. It's all of it. It's all the royalties from all the stuff. And he was hot in 87. Super hot. 85 is Rambo. 86 is Rocky 4, which he got paid through the roof of. Plus, it did so much money on both theaters and home box office. So, 87, he could do, technically, he did that movie because he could do no wrong. In 89, he had Lock Up, which didn't do much business, but it was a great movie. And Tango and Cash, which I personally love, but it didn't do so well. And it had third act issues, we'll call it that.
So one of the reasons why Harrison Ford was one of the top paid actors per film was because his films had one of the highest grosses, both in North America as well as globally. And so he carried a huge pay for almost 3 decades. He started to lose his star power come the late 90s, really. And he started making some films that I wouldn't call them stinkers, but he was trying to act. And so he was getting away from the big box office films.
So he did About Henry and he did Frantic.
Regarding Henry, and I like Frantic. We're going to be doing Frantic.
Yeah.
And it did it. It
didn't
made
do
money
so well, but it's a better movie than what it
made its money back. It made its money back, but it had
Really?
it was seen in Europe too. It had a nice box office. Not great, not like his typical films, but Witness is probably the best film he ever did, acting wise. Then Frantic is really good.
I'm partial to The Fugitive, which was what, 90?
That's still an action film, even though it's more of a thriller. There's some really good action in that, and I like that. My favorite action scene is where he's trying to get away from Gerard, Tommy Lee Jones, and Tommy Lee fucking fires at him, and the camera at the right angle shows the bullet hits in the glass right where his chest and face is. And he looks through the glass and I'm like, no, you just shot to kill me.
Yeah.
Now I paused it here for a fucking reason, because this is one of the best effects in the whole film.
Where
and again, done by Industrial Light and Magic. It's very insect-like.
Yeah.
Just really well done visual effects. It's too bad this film wasn't better received, and I think it probably would have been a better film if they had just left it alone, Universal. But the tension that was built in the original film with the bomb being inside of the case was so much better, because he's sweating and it's more close-ups, and he's sweating and he's fighting and resisting them. And he's got this image of a wall and they're trying to break down the wall to see. And then at the last second, they see what it is on the other side of the wall. And then they turn and look at the box and it's too late, you know. And it goes up and kills them all. And I felt like the film is kind of weird how it ends, that she should be driving through a lot of dead people and vehicles just blown apart and shit. That's how this movie should have ended. It's like that this small little war is over and they survived.
It's so cool though that he finds a way to block his thoughts from them. And they try so hard. Like they dig into him, but he keeps that wall of bricks up so they don't know that there's a bomb until it's too late.
Yeah. And it's exactly the same thing in the original film, but you're going to watch the original film with me, honey. We're just going to do it for shits and giggles. And
How does he find out in the original film? Because in this one, he just thinks of an ocean and she's like, oh, you're blocking your thoughts. And he's like, oh, neat, I can do that. And then he transforms it into a brick wall to even make it even more.
Well, he discovers the same way in the original film, that if he doesn't want them to see something, he focuses on something else.
Okay.
And they can't see past that. So, this is not a terrible film. It's not. It's a good film. It's just not great. I would put it above some of his bad films. So he did some films I just thought were crap. Ghosts of Mars, Primary, #1, terrible fucking movie. Vampires should have been better. Don Ecker and I have argued about that. And I said, I'm sorry, man. Your film is only as good as its first and third act. And that third act fell a fucking apart. It's just a terrible ending. Got some funny moments in it. I love James Woods, man. I can watch him all fucking day. That dude, what a good actor he is. In fact, I've got another film of his that's on the list I want to do, is called Cop. I don't know if you ever knew that. He was the executive producer on that film too. He helped find the funding for the movie. And he's a cop on the edge, like Dirty Harry, you know. I love James Woods. I think he's a great fucking actor. Anybody who's seen Against All Odds knows how good a fucking actor he is. Have you seen that one, Meth?
Against All Odds? A long time ago.
It's a remake of, well, technically it's a readaptation of a book, but the original film is got Mitchum, Kirk Douglas.
Mitchum?
Yeah, Robert Mitchum. Now, did you know that he had a form of eidetic memory?
No.
He would read a script and he had it fully memorized.
Well, it's great for an actor.
He knew everybody's parts. And there are different forms. I have eidetic memory, which is if I see something, I will never forget it. It'll always visually be there exactly as I saw it. I don't see it from any other side other than the angle that I looked at it.
But if you're being told something, you forget it.
It was okay. It's not a terrible film, Vampires, but it's not one of my favorite films. Ghosts of Mars, I just fucking hate. And somebody mentioned it. It's kind of a remake, a quasi remake of Assault on Precinct 13, which is a great fucking movie, which in itself is a remake of Rio Lobo. And I love that film. I thought, now he regrets it in some ways, but I think what he did was edgy. When he has that little girl that was in everything, that little blonde girl, she runs up to the ice cream man, not knowing he's dead already, and she goes, "Hey, you forgot my sprinkles." And then the weird fucking dude from Escape from New York, he has that Mauser pistol and he shoots her through her ice cream cone.
Yowza.
Shoots a kid on camera. She just falls back dead. Like that caused problems at the time. There were a lot of people that got upset about that scene. And I'm like, I like that scene because that's just how evil these motherfuckers are. And he played them as zombies. Because when you see the gang hanging together, they're not like, "Yo, man, what's going on?" They're quiet. They're always quiet, not talking. There's no dialogue. They seem to know what the other person's doing all the time. It's fucking creepy as shit. And he would echo the exact same thing later with Prince of Darkness, which, again, a lot of people don't like that movie. I fucking love that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's part of his apocalyptic trilogy. He did 3 apocalyptic films that were leading to the end of the world.
Well,
The Thing is one of them.
I was side looking at something because you said something about James Woods playing a Dirty Harry kind of a character, a cop.
Yeah, cop.
I don't think I've seen Cop, but I've definitely seen a different movie that wasn't probably as successful. And James Woods is playing a hard-nosed cop, Dirty Harry, or maybe even
with Michael. Yeah.
It's called The Hard Way. I thought it was called Ride Along, but there's a different.
Which should have been what it was
Ride
called, but
Along.
The Hard Way. Makes more sense to say Ride Along because that's what's going on. And Michael J. Fox ends up getting caught up in this shit. It's a funny film. I thought it was a funny movie.
It is. It's sort of an underrated because it wasn't that successful, but it's sort of your typical 80s movie, but it was done in 1991. So it kind of missed the mark because it feels like an 80s movie rather than a 90s movie where it's a buddy cop movie and you've got the hard ass cop that nobody wants to work with, and you've got this actor that wants to, get down and dirty and get like really go method and know what's going on because he's like researching a movie. But at the start, like he has this blonde mullet that he has on his head, Michael J. Fox.
It's meant to kind of make fun of Don Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. But he ends up being like running along with James Woods. And James Woods is literally playing James Woods.
And yes,
like a hard ass.
Stephen Lang is the bad guy in that film. My God, I've been watching Lang since he got started, dude. Stephen Lang is an amazing fucking actor. A lot of people don't even realize that's him in the movie Tombstone that plays one of the McClowrys, I think. He stayed drunk, on the edge of drunk, the entire film, which is why his eyes look the way they do in the movie Tombstone. His eyes always look a little watery and fucking red bloodshot. And the way he did that was by drinking during the film.
And the movie works because Michael J. Fox is literally playing to his strengths, but also James Woods. James Woods is really good at being that hard ass if he wants to. And Michael J. Fox is Michael J. Fox. So
people have no idea just how funny Woods can be.
Yeah.
And I said, if you want to see a film that, even though he's physically not in the film, he's still in the film, is when he plays Hades in Hercules, Disney's Hercules. Almost all of his fucking lines in that film are ad-libs that he came up with.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he's just, they're one of the best parts of that whole fucking movie. I laugh at him and DeVito are so funny in that movie. Woods is hilarious, man. But
yeah, they really did a number of that guy.
He's still going strong. He did a film recently where he had to take his name off of it for the film to make it because people in Hollywood are so afraid of his politics.
Yeah, because wasn't his like a friend of his, and he did it as a favor, but to make it work and to distribute it, he had to
take his name out of it. And he talked about it on Twitter. And I was reading
that's
what happened.
Where
I'm
I
like,
know it from.
Sucks.
I've been following him for a while now.
Me too.
Yeah.
Look, man, I've always said he's probably one of the smartest guys, if not the smartest guy in Hollywood. He's got an IQ between 160 and 200. And just exceptionally fast-witted. And he's got a good sense of humor. He didn't mind working with Seth MacFarlane on the Family Guy series. Seth MacFarlane's the one who got mean about it later by changing the name of the school from James Wood High School to Adam West High School. And I'm like, I thought it was nice that he did that for Adam West because Adam West was a huge part of that show, playing a weird version of himself like James Woods did.
I was never a big Family Guy show.
I like the humor.
And I've never watched it consistently, ever.
The problem with Family Guy is I don't like the flashbacks. But eventually they even started making fun of the flashbacks.
I don't know the show. I've seen clips and bits and pieces. I've never seen the full show. I've seen American Dad, like the first season, and even that was like, there's a
first season had one of my favorite pro-gun jokes ever made by a liberal. When the daughter's like, guns kill. And he goes, really? Really? He throws his gun on the table. All right, killer. Shooter. He goes, Haley, I think there's a mistake with your fucking logic. It's like guns don't kill. It's a person pulling the trigger that does it.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's true, Reed. But we're at the end of the show. I'm getting tuckered out. Anima, I think, is falling asleep. Her and her cat.
I'm falling asleep too. What are you talking about?
Well, you're like an even hour later than Anima.
Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m.
I've been working for 11 days straight without a break, and I have to go in tomorrow too. So,
would you like some cheese with that wine?
Fuck off.
We're almost at the hour where the fucking Yemenis are throwing rockets, so I'll probably stay awake until then. God damn.
Man, I hope you're safe.
Every day. It's been every night. Every night.
Really?
2 o'clock, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 1 a.m. It's like sirens all over the place. And the fucking...
And we get them here for tornadoes. You get them there for that shit.
Oh, yeah. And the THAAD system just knocks it out of the sky, even before it hits the Israeli airspace.
Yeah. I'd like to talk to you sometime about the Iron Dome.
Oh, it's not Iron Dome. It's THAAD. It's the American version.
Oh, okay.
THAAD. THAAD. What's stupid?
Sounds like some asshole from Southern California.
Sounds like a Chad, but it's
not. Chad.
It's basically the same system, just bigger and longer range.
Bigger, longer, and uncut?
It's American, so probably.
Not in Israel.
No.
You know, I grew up in the Catholic Church when they did
really?
That.
You haven't said it, and you've never said that.
But I have never said this. That I grew up in the Catholic Church when they practiced circumcision. And and it was like the thing to do.
See, D-Bud is the smartest mod ever to exist. He's like, I've got it. Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System. Just without the S.
He actually has surgically implanted Google in his forearm.
Yeah,
so he just call it up.
You need to be smart to be looking for that. Yeah, it's a different system than the Iron Dome, but it's basically this. It's rockets against rockets. It works different, higher altitudes. Iron Dome is much more of a within the stratosphere kind of system, rather than upper atmosphere kind of systems, because different rockets have different trajectories, all that stuff. It's a lot of hibbity jibbity and jiggly wiggly and all that. Those words, smart words that people use.
What are you in a Disney movie?
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like.
How did I know that? I'll tell you, D. Bud Martin, because you cheat too well. Usually means.
How does Gary know I'm doing a Google search because I've heard a word on the internet. Now I'm very interested in looking for it. Hey,
you can tell when I'm doing a lookup. You know how?
Wibbly wobbly. Yeah, wibbly wobbly is a good one.
Wibbly wobbly. Do you know how you can tell when I'm looking something up?
Oh, you're quiet. Yeah.
No, I turn to my left because I have another monitor.
The other monitor, of course. Yeah, me too.
I do that doing it all the time. And people go like, how? Because I'm fast. And I only type because I have a mouse with my right hand and I type with my left hand. And I will type something really quickly. And I never took typing. I was telling Anima that. Because you'll catch me cheating. I look down at the keyboard a lot of the time. And when I'm typing with both hands, I actually only use these fingers.
Oh, right? I use all of them. But I actually sometimes do look at the keyboard because I tend to.
Did you take typing in school?
Never.
Yeah, I didn't either. I learned on word processors.
You know why I type? I type faster in English than I do in Hebrew. First of all, I just know where the keys are because when I started playing a lot online and there were chats. You have to write down in chat real quick because you're in the middle of a game with other people and you have to perform. So you have to write chats real quick and then keep on playing. So that's how I got it.
I can tell you what impresses me is how fast my daughter types on a phone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at her and I'm like, God damn, I got to sit there. And I struggle because I've got these giant fucking ape thumbs. I've got big sausage fingers and I get frustrated if the keyboard's slightly smaller than normal. And I'm just fucking hitting wrong letters and shit. I'm like, God damn it. I hate that. Like on my laptop, keyboard's smaller and I can't use the keyboard on my laptop. I can't. It's fucking frustrating. And, but Zoe just does this thing. Because they're blurred.
Fucking kids, man. D-Bud, no, it's not the problem with the Hebrew being backwards. It's the fact that they don't put the same letters to match with the English letters. So we have two letters that are basically T. They're not where the T is. Where the T is, it's actually our A.
That sounds even worse than
this
German
one's for you.
Where the S is, it corresponds with the equivalent of a D in Hebrew. So it's all over the place.
Okay, Meth, this message is for you on the screen. Read it.
Have the book box.
The big box.
It's the book. Which actually comes from the word devek, which is glue, but dibuk, it's a demon that sticks to you because devek means glue, so it sticks to your soul. That's how Hebrew works. I'm sorry. So there's a word, but if you
thanks for ruining the mystery of that word.
Do a little bit of a switch to it. It actually works as both the word of what you're trying to describe and the metaphor in which it actually describes it too. Yes.
Okay, Japanese, like they're backwards.
Try typing Japanese.
It's backwards. the first time. Now I got to tell you something. I've been reading manga since the 80s. I started checking out manga in the 80s because of Matt McGuire, my buddy that's in the band Guar. He got me reading manga and watching anime more seriously in the 80s. But in the early 90s, I was in the Army and I went to this comic book store in El Cerrito. It's Northern California. And they're right on the other side of the Vallejo Bridge. And I went there, this Benicia, El Cerrito area. And I go into this shop and I was talking to the guy that owned the place, really nice guy. And we developed a friendship. And he says, have you ever read manga? I went, manga? What's that? I acted stupid. And he goes, and he goes over and he says, this is my favorite manga book. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. And I bought it. And next time I saw him, he says, what'd you think of the book? I said, it made no sense. The book starts at the end and it ends at the beginning. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, it's just like Hebrew. It goes from right to left.
Yeah, you read, right to left. And
right to left.
And he really thought I was serious. And he's like, do you not know how to read manga? And I went, well, I mean, it's a comic book. How stupid do you think I am? And he goes, no, it's, and he got so upset with me. And then I just started laughing. I'm fucking with you. I loved it. He thought I was he thought I was an idiot.
It's so crazy.
And I am.
Because it is sort of like all the Jewish people are really smart at mathematics, which is typically not terribly true, but okay. It's mathematics is left to right, just like English, but Hebrew is right to left. So it kind of meshes not well together, but yeah.
I'm trying to remember where El Cerrito was because I get confused. Help me out here, D-Bud. It's the first one right across the Vallejo Bridge, the Benicia Bridge. Is that Benicia or is that El Cerrito? Because that's the one I'm talking about. It's like right when you go across the toll bridge and go to the other side, the bay side of the bridge, there's a little town. It's kind of on hills. And the first exit, you would get off and go in there, and there's this little strip mall. There's this amazing fucking comic book store. And that's where I bought my copy of the new The Thing, Dark Horse Comics, and Billy Mooney's conclusion of the Lost in Space story comic that he did. So it's on the opposite side of the bridge, though, right? Because that might be the one I'm talking about. Benicia. So, but anyway, great comic book store. That was my favorite stop because I always had to go through to get gas before I started going into the other cities and towns to do my job. Mark Hamill was in this remake.
Yeah, you're a little bit late.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're at the end of the show. We're done. We're concluding. But good to meet you, Kessler Daniel Garcia. How did you find out about our channel?
Watch it. Yeah.
It's a fun show. I think you'll hear some good trivia, and we pretty much don't hold back on our opinions about things.
Yeah.
Especially Anma. She's so mean-spirited about movies.
She's about to collapse. Let's go.
I know. So are you. You guys are so tired. But thanks for popping in, everybody. Let me see how. Thanks to everybody. Let's get to the names. Let's see. Of course, first person in the house is Monkey Jeebus. Tom Baker, D. Bud Martin, the single hardest working wrench in all of our community. Sander Hammerschlag. I swear to God, dude, if I ever have make my own home brew beer, I'm going to name it Sander Hammerschlag. That is a great fucking name. War Monkey was here. So was the House of Monkeys today. We had our dear friend Bush McFadden finally back after his trip to the hospital. Our good horror friend, Slasher Fred. FKC 2005, also known as Tim. Reeve by nature. And Penny was here. We love Penny. She's such a sweetheart. We got Vinkman's fan site. She's okay. I like her. All right. She's okay. I'm teasing you, Vinkman's girl. I love Vinkman's girl. And of course, our last guest that showed up in the chat is Kessler Daniel Garcia. And yes, subscribe to Mephisto. We are going to be doing a big thing tomorrow. We're going to be doing Gremlins for 4 fucking hours, unless we figure some other way of doing it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it for 2 hours on my channel and then 2 hours on yours, or we do it as one show.
I was trying to test out how we can dual stream, and I think it actually means I have to cancel the current link because you have to do it in advance. So I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
It'd be so cool if we could do that. Do a simulcast.
Like I said, there's a way to do it, but I think you need to create the stream with that intention in mind. Otherwise, you cannot go. Let's just go.
Well, before we go, I do want to point out one more film with Mark Hamill where he actually did a halfway decent job. Was Slipstream, and I like that. It's a little sci-fi film from the late 80s that he did. Great cast.
I think I've seen it.
You got some serious actors in that movie, from F. Murray Abraham to what's his name?
Definitely seen it once. I definitely
Ben
seen
Kingsley
it once. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Bill Paxton is the main hero in it. Walter Peck, who you remember him from Jurassic Park. He's the hunter, the Australian hunter. Or Bob Peck, not
but
Walter,
okay.
Bob Peck. He's guy where
Walter
he's
Peck
hunting.
Is this somebody? Yeah,
it's Bob Peck. He's the one that's hunting the loose. What do you call them? Velociraptors. They're actually Deinonychus, but they call them Velociraptors in the movie. And he says the great line, "Clever girl." That's him. That's Bob Peck. Very good actor. Died young. But he did Slipstream, which is a very good film. We got what is this? Super chat? What is this? Once more unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Yeah. There you go, my friend. Yeah, Reed knows that. Yeah, clever girl. Great line. Bob Peck, good actor. Slipstream film with Hamill. Yes. Go check that film if you haven't. Thing that sucks is it's gone into arrears, so all you can get right now is an SD copy. There is no HD copy of that film. And I would love to get a hold of the original print, do a digital transfer, and clean that fucking thing up and release it myself, because nobody owns the rights to it anymore.
Oh, it's one of those movies. Okay.
Yeah. And so you'll see it released by different studios, but it's always they say they cleaned it up. No, it's still SD. Fuck you. It's not HD. But anyway, there you go. Thank you, Tim. What?
We need to run a video for Tim.
Yeah, so play video. Thank you, Tim.
Okay.
That is why I won't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do.
And Space Hunter is a good film. So we are out of here, guys. Appreciate everybody dropping in. But we have people dropping off, man. Mephisto's going to pass out any second. And I'd like to force him, just like see him fall asleep on camera like Keith does. Keith will fall asleep during a show. He'll be, you think he's reading something, but no, he's sound the fucking sleep.
No, I don't think I'll ever fall asleep on a show unless it's like cameras off. But I have fallen asleep like upright editing. I did.
Yep. I've done that too. I've fallen asleep at a table. And like I had my pen in my hand and just drew a line.
Stop the show. Stop it.
Drew a
We're
line.
going to be here all night. Stop the show. Stop it.
You are wrong. Now for the next hour. This episode is brought to you by Mephisto's Toes.